Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Ketmia.
Welcome to the This and That Chat. What happened to your part?
I got distracted.
We're doing it again. Ready? Welcome to the This and That Chat.
I got distracted.
What did you get distracted with?
I was thinking about how I just have to imagine the music.
Because
you can hear it, and I'm like, I come in right on cue, and it reminded me of Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. Do you remember watching that movie?
It's a horse movie. It's all I know.
Did you watch? It's a Disney movie. Did you watch it?
I probably have watched it. I have no idea.
It is a great
I know
movie.
It's about a horse, and that's it.
It actually is not about a horse.
Well, I know it has a horse in it.
It does have a horse in it, but it is
It's on a horse farm, isn't it?
Not exactly. It's
not
a
a
traveling
Is it a horse farm?
act, not a circus. It's like a circus act.
Is it a horse farm though?
No.
A ranch.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with horses. Sort of. They're an act.
My question's not to do about the movie. Just is it a horse ranch?
I would say not, because they travel. So it's one of
not the movie.
Oh.
In general.
Oh, in general. Dang.
Horse ranch? A horse stable?
Yeah, I would say it's a ranch. 100%.
Horses stable?
Because the Dude Ranch, what does the Dude Ranch have? Horses.
Cows.
Also. But anyway, it's based on a true
movie
story.
About traveling horse people.
True story about a girl who was a diver, a high diver, into the water. She goes blind. Huh?
What?
Yeah.
The movie is about a diver who goes blind?
Yeah.
So what does a horse have to do with it?
So it's a dive from a platform, the way that the Olympic people dive from the top into the pool.
Right.
They used to have an act where a rider on a horse would jump with the horse into the pool. And you have to get it just right, because the rider isn't on the horse. The horse gets thrown up to run up the ramp and jump. And the rider has to jump on the horse as the horse is running up the ramp. So you have to time it perfectly. And she goes blind because of a diving accident that she had with her horse. She hit the water with her eyes open. And she learns to just time when she has to jump on the horse, and how the horse's hooves, the way it's coming up the ramp, how it's telling her where her horse is. And she becomes the first blind person to do the act. Yeah, people, if you could see him right now, he's Googling. He's Googling. Okay, can we watch this movie?
Hold on.
Oh, I just got super excited.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm doing this. We're doing this as we go. It's literally the trailer for it. Is that who's that? The main actor? I know that guy.
I don't know him, actually, besides just from that movie. Maybe you saw him somewhere else. To me, it looks like he could be a...
She's jumping from that high?
Yeah. That
with
was
the horse.
With the horse.
What's the point?
It was just like a circus act. That was their act. And it was during the Great Depression. And they were going around to Atlantic City. That was their big gig, to sell tickets for people to come watch this. And the thing is that the horses have to be trained to jump, because the horse is going to be scared. And if you have the horse falter, you're going to throw the diver. There could be a serious accident.
What in the world am I watching?
Mm-hmm.
People make
But this is based on a true story.
No, I got you. But why the heck would the horse do that? How many horses did they kill?
doing that. Who
Doing
knows
that.
how many divers got killed doing that? But the big part of the story was just her grit and determination. She was like a nobody who became a somebody because some guy gave her a chance to be the diver.
Okay.
And she trained her own horse. And
Here I am thinking it's like one of these movies where it's like the girl is wanting to be a show rider and she's struggling and falling off the horse, and then at the end of the movie,
I mean, there's a little bit of that.
you know, of course there's going to be all that kind of stuff, but the horse to jump from a high dive.
From a high dive, yep. And then for her to do it blind. So anyway,
Hold
the
on.
whole part
Mind
of this
you,
intro
the fact that it's a real life story,
right?
whatever,
Is just
whatever.
Yeah. So
That goes to show for the people that are out there that you can make money doing whatever.
I mean, really, you can.
Who sat down somebody sat down and talked about this? Mm-hmm. Hey guys, what do you think about making a special ramp that a horse is going to go running up, and right at the exact time someone's going to jump on the horse and then high dive into muddy water?
A pool.
It's dirty water.
Yeah, I guess.
It's somebody dug a hole and filled it with water.
That's true. You're right about that.
Like somebody thought about that and said,
Not only
"This
that,
is a
but
good
to
idea."
know how deep you had to make it. How's that horse going to make it? You know, I don't know. But yeah, I guess when you think about all of these, remember the circus act where they did some science to pretend to get electrocuted, but they weren't really getting electrocuted. It was just static energy, but they really played it up to look
with,
like that.
that ladder, what is it?
Right. So people just
it
had,
called?
I don't know. But people just had creativity and they came up with stuff, and that's why the circus was born. Because you could have these like weird, where else would you see something like this? But anyway, the whole reason I brought up that movie was because I was thinking, here I am completely in the dark about where the tempo is, where I'm coming in to say my name at the intro of our podcast. Completely in the dark because I can't hear the music. And then I hit it every single time because I'm just going based off of when you say it, I say it. And I'm fully trusting that you're on cue.
Well,
Sonora Webster, you're welcome.
what's Sonora Webster?
That's her name.
From the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move on.
Okay, but can we move on and talk about how amazing Disney movies were back in the day?
Disney movies were good back then.
And not cartoons. The real
Right,
live,
the
live action movies. There's so many.
They don't make anything like that anymore.
Don't. I've been.
But I'm going to tell
thinking,
you.
what is?
But I'm going to tell you why.
Well, they're remaking the cartoons into live action, but
Right, but
original stories.
The reason it's changed, and this is actually that's a pretty good movement into
Segue.
that. Into
It's
that
called a segue.
A segue into something we can talk about. So I just I just listened to a podcast called Business Wars, where they were talking about Netflix against Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. You told me
And
about
that
this.
whole story of how they competed with each other, and how Blockbuster and Netflix, and going back and forth, all this stuff that was going on, and the ultimate demise of Blockbuster happened. And at the end of the show, they introduced HBO, right? Because that was the next big player. And then one little bit at the end, like probably the last 15 seconds, they said, and then now we have to watch out for Disney. So when this podcast was recorded, Disney Plus had not been a thing.
Oh.
So they were talking about how that's going to be coming into play. And one of the things that they said that I thought was really, really interesting was the fact that they said that TV has changed and we are in a new generation of television. The movies are second to television,
To shows?
to shows.
To shows.
Okay?
Okay.
And what they were saying is there he said television, but it was when you really look at it, it's
Yeah, but what
all
is
of
television?
these-
Television are shows.
Yeah, but television's not the same anymore. Like you don't like they talked about the cable providers. Like they're on a last straw, like DirecTV and Comcast and all these people.
Until someone invents a way to get all the streaming services into one bundle.
They're not gonna do it because that's what the streaming services have done. They have all, and that was thanks to HBO, by the way. HBO was the first one with HBO Go.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what it was. HBO Go, something like that. And then Netflix now.
But they were the first one, what?
The first one to separate themselves from
Cable.
cable.
Interesting.
So,
But what I'm saying
once
about
they-
the
once they
bundling-
did that, cable bundles went away.
Okay, but what I'm saying about the bundling is, have you noticed how ESPN, Disney, and Hulu all have grouped up now? You can get
Same
a bundle
company.
of the three.
Same company.
Right, but
They-
all you need
they
is
bought-
one company to buy out a bunch of them and now offer
HBO
you
will never,
all the big ones.
Yeah, but HBO will never sell to Showtime. Right?
But
Disney
they
will,
might swallow them. They might swallow up Showtime.
Yeah, but
Showtime's
can
part
you
of
see-
Paramount now.
Can you see Disney taking over HBO with the content that they have?
Well, let's talk about this. I just read an article that HBO got rid of all its adult content. No more nudity. No more late night shows that they
Baloney.
had. 100%.
Their number one show,
Don't say Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
No, but they don't consider that. I'm talking about Red Shoe Diaries kind of stuff.
That's
or-
Showtime.
Well,
Because they talked about that.
well, but there was something else. Remember there was a show on HBO called Cat House?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shows like that where it's about adult entertainment and stuff, they got rid of all of those shows like
They
that.
moved them to their sister companies.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at it,
What's the
they're-
sister company?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know, but they did talk about how they started to separate their content.
And then, I'm sorry, if we're going to go into adult stuff, it's very strange to me that HBO would get rid of all that stuff, right? Because there's definitely a market for people who want that kind of entertainment. And then you have Netflix coming out with a pornographic biopic. Netflix!
Right, but the reason
Children are on Netflix.
Right. And then when you look at Netflix's response to it, it's like it's a documentary.
Exactly, it's a
we're-
biopic.
We are giving information to the public.
Exactly. So it's very strange to me that HBO would get rid of that part of it, and then you've got little Netflix coming along, and I'm sorry, we even saw Hulu has a new era of Housewives that is about swinging Mormons.
Yeah. Well,
This is all very much adult content that is uneasily accessible. HBO used to be very hard. You needed to pay the premium cable package to have HBO.
and then you didn't have any choice as to what you were watching. It was what they put.
Exactly.
So one of the things that they talked about was that all of these providers now, they have their own studios. So like HBO has their own studio, even though
Are you saying like Bad Robot?
no, like Warner Brothers and
And then who did
and
Disney just buy?
Goldwyn Mayer and
Yeah, but those
well,
studios have always existed.
I know, but now they are owned by these companies.
streaming services?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Netflix was having trouble getting any of their shows produced. Nobody wanted to do them. New company, small company, whatever. And the guy who was in charge of Netflix, okay, that I later found out was also the owner of the Miami Heat. I didn't know that. I forgot to tell you about that. He actually was making more money with the Miami Heat and all that stuff. So he actually took a seat on the board of Netflix and put a new CEO in place. But that's, later on in the story. But they got themselves when they did their first show, they paid $100 million at that time, okay, for the rights to House of Cards. Okay. He went into the office of the main guy and said, I just took a gamble on House of Cards. He's like, how much of a gamble? And he's like, 100 million. And he's like, that is our entire year's budget. It's more than our entire year's budget for movies and shows and everything. We can't buy anything else. We can't do anything. He's like, trust me, it's going to be a hit. And House of Cards was a massive hit.
Interesting that you bring that up then, because I wonder, how did the whole Kevin Spacey scandal affect House of Cards later?
That happened way later on.
But
So
did it
House of-
negatively affect them, or were they
Didn't
already
matter.
way out in
It
front?
didn't matter. At that time, right, when House of Cards came out, after that, there were shows that came out that then just started to take off.
Ozarks was one of them.
Well, like
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
No,
like,
Breaking Bad's AMC.
AMC.
But Ozarks was
Yeah,
really
Ozarks.
big on there.
There was a few of them that got out and they just took off.
Witcher's exclusively on Netflix.
Well, now that's the thing. So what they have started to do is that they, at the beginning, were buying just the rights to stream the shows. And a couple years in, he's like, wait a second. We're just paying for a little bit of hold on these people. He's like, forget it. Let's just make our own shows, and that's going to be it.
And can
So
I say,
there were a couple shows that none of the other networks would take because they were so extreme. And he would have secret meetings with these people and would say to them, I don't care what you do with your show, but we have to have exclusive rights to show the show and hold on to the show. Now, what that does is that it gives them all the money coming in, and then they paid out to the show. So before, it was the show made all the money, and Netflix got a cut.
right?
And they turned it around and said, no, we're going to make the money, and we'll give you a cut. So that's where they started to really
And can I
take
say
off.
that I think everyone can agree that Netflix kills at making shows. Like they are amazing.
Absolutely.
They suck at making movies.
But
Movies is not their thing right now.
Their new movies, some of their new movie stuff.
There's only one movie I have seen from Netflix that's worth a rewatch.
Yes, but the thing is that they make money on them.
Yeah, they make money on them, but
That's all they care. They don't care if the movie's good or bad.
yeah, but it's really like D movies.
The thing is, so
There's no blockbuster coming out on Netflix.
no, but they're not trying to have blockbusters. They're not putting them in theaters. Those movies go straight to Netflix.
Obviously, yeah. So when you said that television has changed, what do they mean by television has changed?
Well, look at HBO. HBO, they were the pioneers in the show, right?
For TV shows?
For TV shows.
But what about I Love Lucy and Leave
Those
It
are
to
sitcoms.
Beaver? Isn't that a show?
It's different.
What do you mean?
So what sitcom do you know that is on TV right now? That is like a constant, like
well, what about Modern Family?
those are the ones that are happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Modern Family. I think Modern Family is over already, but Modern Family. You had How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had all this stuff, right? But when you look at TV nowadays, it's not like before. You don't have the same thing. Now what's happening is you've got these streaming services that'll give you the whole season when it comes out.
Or the opportunity for you to watch it tomorrow without having a DVR.
Right.
So if you missed it tonight.
Those are the regular shows.
Right, I'm saying, so like your cooking shows, because a lot of it's reality TV as well. Oh, but if you missed it on TV, that's fine. I don't have to have cable. I can just watch it tomorrow.
So here is where we are going.
Even Big
And
Brother, for example.
I'm going to call it now. Mm-hmm. Okay. TV, as we know it, I think will be obsolete in the next 5 years. 5 to 10 years. I'll give it 10 years just to, because people kind of hold on. There's still a generation that holds on to it. But the shows that we like to watch, MasterChef, Hell's Kitchen, Big Brother, Survivor, all this kind of stuff, they are going to have exclusive releases. They're going to give you the whole season. You're going to see that's what it is. It doesn't kill viewership. People are still sitting down, and even if they watch it all in one day, right, they're still watching it. It's still the same amount of people watching it.
I don't think that that's going to happen.
Oh, yes.
No, and I'll tell you why.
It's what has happened.
No, but I'll tell you why. Because let's say Paramount, I think Paramount's 3 mega stars are going to be Survivor, Big Brother, and Amazing Race, right?
And what has happened in each of those shows?
Paramount also has this show, the Out West show with Kevin Costner.
Oh, Yellowstone?
Yellowstone.
But Yellowstone, look at the way they're doing it already. They're giving you half a season.
Exactly.
And then they give you but they're giving you all the episodes.
Okay, and maybe that's because it's not live, but there is live, like a reveal at the end. For example, like the I don't know, all these live shows that have some sort of a prize at the end. If you released everything, it would be spoiled who won. You could just look that up already.
Yes, but
right.
People,
so the
it
Bachelor,
doesn't matter,
for example,
it doesn't matter though.
Of course it matters.
No, not at all. People sit down and watch the show anyway.
I don't know. I don't think so.
How many times have we gone back and watched a season that we hadn't seen before, that we knew the winner, and we sat and watched through it anyway?
But there's people who will read the end of a book as they're starting a book because they're frustrated over, I need to know if they die. And you go to the end of the book and you're like, oh, they're still alive. Good. And then there's other people who feel that's blasphemy. You can't do that, right? So there's going to be
two different viewers.
But there's going to be people who accept spoiler alerts, and there's other people who are not going to want spoiler alerts. And you can't just cater to the people who don't care about spoilers. You have to think about your whole viewership, and your whole viewership is going to be, because for me, for example, let's talk about the current season of Big Brother, right? Right now as it is, there's a certain player in the current season, Angela. If she makes it to the very end, top 2 players, I am absolutely not going to watch the season at all. Okay? So if they released it and it's done.
Hold on. But we stopped watching the season because we did not like her as a player because she just kept on advancing.
Right.
But the moment she gets kicked out,
maybe.
But I'm telling you.
If it's the top 4, still, for me, I don't care to watch it. But if it were revealed, let's say Big Brother, just here's the new season of Big Brother, here it is, now that means I have to stay off social media so that I don't get it spoiled for me, because I don't want it spoiled for me. I want to get to know the players first.
Social media won't spoil it for you.
Of course, the people always spoil stuff.
It won't be spoiled the same way. Here's the thing, and here's the truth of it. So, Sopranos was one of the big first shows that HBO had. That was crazy. People were watching it. The gruesomeness of the attacks of the mafia and the nudity at the strip club and all the stuff that was happening in that show. People were like, this is ridiculous. And yet, on the very last episode, when they aired the last episode, people were watching. The highest rated show in that time. At the beginning of the series, people were screaming, hooting, and hollering. We don't want it. Then, Sex and the City. We don't want it. One of the biggest shows for them. Then they had, goodness, what was the other one they said? There was another show that they had that was really, really big. And then those all ended. So I didn't know this, but Sex and the City, Sopranos, and whatever the other show, I forgot what it was, ended all within a span of 18 months. And then they had nothing.
That's my point.
Game of Thrones showed up.
Right, but if you release everything all at once, then now you have nothing.
I know, but
until the next big thing comes out.
But how many shows do we have sitting right now in a bank
that we haven't watched or that we're trying to watch? Okay, yeah.
We could literally go for the next 5 years with the amount of stuff that we want to watch. We just don't have time to watch. There is so much content that they're fighting for viewership, and the viewers want instant. So we're in the generation where we are right on the half and half. We like the weekly shows.
But see, that's what I was going to say is I do love the idea of being able to binge something right away if it's a TV show, right? I don't want to be given half a season.
Not Survivor, not like that kind of stuff. Or would you? I wish they would just
I
release
would
the
not
whole
want
thing.
to know because to me that's spoiling something, right? No one's going to spoil the end of Ozarks. That's something I would have to go searching for.
And Ozarks was one of the top, and we watched that entire series without knowing what the end was.
Correct, because I think it's more of digging that you have to do to find what that is. But if it's like when I'm scrolling, let's say through Instagram, I just have to scroll through the page of MasterChef, and all of a sudden they have the picture of the person who went home. Ink Master, the picture of the person who won that week. And it's like, dang it.
Yeah, but Ink Master changed. Ink Master's, here's all the season.
No.
At the
Remember, end, now we just watched and it was every Wednesday we had to come back for a new episode.
What was the show that we used to watch that just decided to drop everything at one time? Shows are going to that.
Shows, yes.
Whether we are
live things, I don't see that happening.
Whether we want to or not, it's going to happen. Maybe not so much the live things. I can give you the live things because those are a weekly show.
Prize money things.
There's interaction with the crowd.
And they want you to come back for that.
But you're not going to watch it on cable. Like we have DirecTV. What do we watch on DirecTV?
Correct. And so I think that it's mostly for sports, which is your local sports.
Not even.
But I'm saying.
Like football?
Yeah. For your local sports, and there's really no other reason. The only reason we have it, and I was telling somebody this, is because just keeping the internet alone is more expensive.
Exactly.
So why are they doing that is my question, right? Why are they pretty much giving you cable for free?
Because that's what they have to do
what do they have
to keep
to
themselves
gain?
Alive.
Yeah, but they're dying for sure.
Advertisement money. You don't think that every single one of those channels are paying for a spot on their packages?
So what would you say if TV is eliminated entirely, right? What would happen to the Super Bowl, for example, which is something that everyone has been able to access for free?
They already did it.
Okay. What did they do?
YouTube.
Oh.
Last year, they tried Thursday Night Football on YouTube.
Interesting.
That's what it was on. If you wanted to watch Thursday Night Football,
and YouTube is free.
You'd have to go on YouTube.
Interesting.
And what's YouTube doing now too?
TV?
No. Oh. Well, they have their.
They do have YouTube TV.
Right? They have YouTube TV, but they have it premium. It's like $3.99 a month.
Oh yeah.
Everything is pay to play. Everything is, and that's where people are going to have to start making decisions. We're not paying any less for cable than we were before, because when you add up HBO, Hulu,
Disney.
Netflix, Disney.
Discovery,
ESPN, Paramount, Peacock. Like when you add, like I'm at 9 apps already, and I'm missing something.
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon Prime. There's like when you start adding all this, we're paying $150 a month to be able to watch TV.
To be able to have choices.
It is what it is. It's what it is. And then every single year,
and I think that's the important part, right?
We got to go up $2. Oh, we got to go up $4. If you want to add free, because Netflix now has an ad option. It's $6.99 a month for one user, but you have ads.
And that's what I think is the big thing, is that people want to have a choice. I know a few people who have told me, "Oh, I'm interested in watching that show. Where is it on?" "Oh, it's on HBO." "No, I don't have HBO. I have Netflix." Whatever's on Netflix, that's what I can watch. So they have the choice of, I only want to pay for Netflix. This is the thing that I splurge on entertainment wise, right? So before, with cable, even if you got the most basic channel, well, what if I want to remember when we would pay for Spike TV
Right.
and we had to
We had to
upgrade?
upgrade. It was an extra like $12 a
And
month.
I only want Spike.
Well,
That's all I wanted,
we
you know?
only wanted Ink Master.
Exactly.
That's it. It was
And that's
nothing.
all.
It was nothing else.
nothing else. It was just Ink Master. And now you're able to have Ink Master on.
Yeah, you can. It's on the app, so you're able to see it specifically. You can see it right on the. You can see it right on the app, and it works. It's that it worked for us. We were able to watch the show, and we weren't able to miss. We didn't miss out on it. But again, there is such a changing world.
I agree with you about the instant thing.
And I'm telling you, it's all going to go instant. It's all going to go app. People don't want to sit
and on
down.
the go.
Yeah, people don't want to sit down and watch shows at home.
Do you
it
know
just
that
doesn't
I
happen
knew
anymore.
a girl at the hospital who told me that her and her boyfriend didn't like watching the same things, right? But they would indulge each other and sit with each other during a certain period of time to watch something.
On their phones.
However, he would be watching, let's say, The Rookie, right? And she would sit with him to watch The Rookie while on her phone watching Bridgerton.
It's what it is.
Whoa. Whoa.
People don't watch the same. They everything is geared specifically towards the person.
And this whole binging stuff, what do you think about that? Because I feel like that's all new as well. That's a new mentality.
So they talked about that in that podcast, and this is really cool.
Okay.
It's kind of scary and cool.
Yeah.
Netflix has algorithms.
Okay.
Okay, that even the pictures that they put on your screen are special for you.
Really?
Yes. Based on where you pause, based on where you rewind, based on what you do going back and forth on a show. So let's say we're watching MasterChef.
Uh-huh.
And every time that there's a judge's whatever, they're scoring or they're talking about something or they're looking at something specifically in a certain area at the judge's table, and we pause it there a lot, or we rewind to see something again. Then when MasterChef is up on the screen, then it'll be a picture of the three judges standing at the table. It'll take screenshots of where you normally pause.
Really?
And put it on there, because that's the thing that catches your attention, because that's where you're pausing. That's where you're rewinding. That's what you're doing.
Wow.
Okay. So they say that everything is like that, based on what you're watching, what time you're watching it, like all that kind of stuff. Every single suggestion is special to you. That is scary. And it has happened to us.
Yeah.
Where we're watching a show and we'll get hooked on a certain genre, right? And all of a sudden, what are all our suggestions? It's all in that genre. It's all something that happens in that. Everything is there. All it's doing is just pulling you in because they want you to hit play on the next episode. The more they have their hand wrapped around you, that's how they make money.
So back to what I was saying in the beginning is that the movies that Disney made before, there was something that was just, it wasn't just even the wholesomeness of it, but it was just a feel good movie. And sometimes you're in the mood for a feel good movie. For example, Swiss Family Robinson, right? That is a movie you can watch anytime. It's a feel good movie. You know the story from top to bottom, but you can watch it and it's great, you know? And I guess there's really no place for those kind of movies anymore. People want something more edgy, maybe. I don't know. But my question is, it's something Disney made. It's something that people enjoyed. There is a generation that enjoys that. Why not make those movies available to the public? Why seal them up? By any chance, have you heard anything about that? Why is there a vault? Like, there's a movie called...
There's... We talked about this a little bit. What's that? What was that?
Oh, that was you running me over. Those were your little footsteps.
You asked me a question.
Yeah, I know. I know, but now I know what it's like to be me.
Hold on.
On the other side.
You asked
Didn't
me
even
a
finish
question.
my thought.
But you asked me a question. You literally said, "Do you know anything
Did you hear the
about
little
that?"
footsteps? Yes, I was finishing my thought. Go.
Okay, finish your thought.
I can't even think about my thought anymore.
You gotta finish your thought.
I can't even think. What was I saying? The movies?
You asked me about the vault and why that happens.
Well, yeah. Oh, I was saying like there's a movie called The Girl Who Spelled Freedom.
Okay.
Right? And amazing movie based on a true story. You cannot find... Do you know we own that movie. But it is this, if you look at the CD, it is not a CD that was printed by Disney. It is a company that took their VHS, they take VHS and they burn it onto a CD for you. So the quality is absolute trash, but at least you get to watch it on a DVD. Why not make those movies available? Go.
Okay, it's the same thing that happened with Marvel and Fox.
Okay. Well, we're going into a whole other place here.
Yes. People own, right, certain entities own certain entities. And they don't play with each other. So
okay. But if Disney made it, it's Disney's.
Disney made it, but they use studios to make them.
So you're saying because the studio won't release it?
It's not that they won't release it. They must have had something in their contract, something that was holding them back.
Oh, no. But I'm talking about the vault, where movies go into the vault and you cannot access them until Disney re-releases that movie.
Yes.
Why?
There has to be some sort of something contractual.
Sounds greedy.
Oh, yeah. 100%. It's greed. It's all greed. It's somebody who was sitting at a desk somewhere that decided that we're not going to make any more money on Sleeping Beauty, right? Because the actress who played the queen is getting paid too much money and we're losing money on this side. So we're just going to throw it in the vault. And by retiring it and getting rid of it, there's no more royalty payouts.
Why re-release it 20 years later then?
Because it's out of the contract. So now Disney can re-release it and make all the money on it and not pay any royalties on it.
So interesting. Because
it's all money. The whole thing.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
money.
For everybody,
it's
that's
greed.
what it is.
It's who's getting paid and who's not getting paid and where's my money going.
But
that is the entire game.
But I also think that in the age we live in right now, where, like you said, all these seasons are available, the entire library is available. You know, for example, you go on Paramount, you can watch every single episode of I Love Lucy that was made, Little House on the Prairie that was made, and all that stuff. Why? They're not holding back on it. Disney should do the same. You're paying for a subscription. Why can't I access all of these old movies?
Here you go. Here's another one. Perfect example. What happened to The Office?
It went to Peacock.
Yes, but what happened for a time frame? You couldn't see it anywhere because they had to drop it from one place to move it to another. What happened to Friends?
Where was Friends? Was Friends on Netflix and then it moved to HBO?
Yep.
Interesting.
Why? Because HBO bought out.
Warner
They
Brothers.
bought out the studios. Mm-hmm. So now they're like, oh, this is ours. Okay. The same thing. Disney, right? When Disney bought Marvel and they bought Fox Studios and they bought all these places and they just went monopoly on the entire thing. Okay. We lost a bunch of availability on Netflix and some of these other programming because it was all going to one place. But Disney did not release. Remember, Disney Plus wasn't around. I think Disney Plus became Disney Plus because they bought all that stuff. They had to put it somewhere.
Well, even now they just bought some other stuff because there are adult movies on Disney Plus now
they are picking up a lot of these big studios. And then we're seeing it now, like in the new Deadpool movie, right? We've got characters that have been vaulted, thrown away. You can't touch them. You can't do anything with them. And all of a sudden, boom, they're back. You know, there's so much stuff like from X-Men, because X-Men was Fox, that you couldn't do with Marvel. And now that bridge is back together.
So interesting,
it's
right?
It's all money.
Wow.
It's all money. It's all who's making the money, where's the money going, and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It makes the whole thing.
The viewers be damned then.
Of course, they don't care. All they care is that they have to make a package that is good enough for someone to pay monthly services.
So, for Netflix, for example, Netflix is banking. Okay.
100%.
So they let go of Henry Cavill as The Witcher and bring on one of the Hemsworth brothers, right? That nobody cares for, to now pick up his role, right?
Right.
Instead of just, you have a show that has a humongous fan base. All he wants is for you to stay true to the novels, because that's what he was nerding out over, was that he was getting to play this character from the novels. Netflix wants to do what Walking Dead did, which is like, oh, we're going to take some liberties and we're going to change some things. Exactly, right? And then you lose the main star of your show because we're going to do our thing. I don't know. Like,
have you seen what the viewership changed when they changed?
I haven't. No.
No change.
No, that's not true.
It had a very deep fluctuation right at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And they picked it all right back up. Because people wanted to keep watching the show. That's it.
I find that hard to believe.
People don't care. Look, I'm gonna check.
I think that maybe there are some people who don't care, and then there's other people who do. For example, I saw something today that I didn't even realize. Do you know that the girl who played Marty's girlfriend in Back to the Future was not the same girl in the second movie?
Yes, but I have the answer for that.
No, I just watched her interview.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it wasn't the same girl. I don't remember noticing her being different.
Okay.
Is she noticeable or not?
They picked someone very, very similar. They did a good job in
keeping it the same.
Keeping it the same, but it was because her mom was sick.
Yeah, but she didn't want to talk about.
She didn't want to talk about why.
Yeah.
Okay, so Witcher season 3 saw a 36% drop from season 2.
Okay.
Okay, but season 2 had a 21% drop from season 1. Okay, so the skew on it was larger,
right,
because it switched season, but they're saying that after release, it top 10 chart again. So there was a drop. It wasn't a one-on-one comparison. You couldn't compare the two seasons to it.
Right.
Right? But it became a top 10 again. And one of the things it said there, it says content. The amount of content that was out, it just skewed that number. And that's going to be one of the biggest things. They're saying that the amount of people that have watched the show hasn't changed. It's just taken them longer to see it. So you can see the same show. You'll still have 1 million people watch it, but it took 10 months for 1 million people to see it instead of it taking 3 months.
So, in seeing all of that, it's made me think about how incredibly fortunate these studios have been to be able to retain the same actors over the course of 10 or 12 seasons. Because, for example, right now Yellowstone is losing Kevin Costner. I am not sure what the deal is behind why they're losing him, but he's a big part of the show. So the fact that he's gone, I have no idea how that's going to impact the show, right? But sometimes actors want to do something different. Sometimes it's money stuff, whatever it is, right? But then you look at a show like Friends, where you were able to keep every single person the same, even the side characters like Jan, right? That it's like, if you lost Jan and they replaced Jan with somebody else, like all of these people that you were able to keep something like that. In Sopranos, they didn't alter anybody.
But what happened on season 10 for Friends?
What happened?
They tried to recontract. And if it wasn't for David Schwimmer, we may not have a season 10. You know about that?
No, I know that he was responsible to getting them $1 million per episode.
Yeah, because they wanted to give David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston more money than the other characters because
they were the bigger stars.
That's the bigger stars, right? So David Schwimmer had already done a movie, and
Jen had already done.
Yeah, Jen had already gone out to do a couple movies. Mm-hmm. I want to say
what
that
Courtney
Cox, I think, had only done
Scream?
Ace Ventura.
What about, is it Scream or Speed?
She hadn't done Scream yet, I don't think.
Is it Scream or Speed?
Scream. Speed is Sandra Bullock.
Ah.
So they were starting to do this whole thing, and he goes, I'm not going to be a part of this unless everyone gets paid the same. We're all equal in this. And instead of them coming down, they went up. And they gave everybody $1 million an episode.
Right. But what happened to season 10? People were leaving?
No, they didn't want to pay them the same.
Oh, I see.
So he said, no, for the last season, we're all going to get paid $1 million an episode. If you want to finish the series, you got to pay us. It was, I'm sure that was a short
conversation.
I
mean, either way, I'm just saying, when you look at everything that they have to deal with, right? Disagreements with actors, personalities, different things that they want to pursue. Some of them don't want to get typecast as, this is all you're going to ever be seen as, right? For you to be able to keep a group together that makes you all of this success and fame and money and all that stuff, that's a gift that you were given as a studio. So I've talked to a couple people who don't watch any shows. They barely watch any TV whatsoever. And I would say, when I say that we watch TV, I don't mean that we watch TV.
Right.
But shows, right?
Netflix, we have our shows.
Right? Netflix, HBO, whatever, right? Whatever it is. Entertainment. We watch stuff. I'm always surprised by people who don't know movies, don't know shows. They don't watch anything. They do other stuff, right? I am not ashamed at all over how much we indulge in entertainment.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's
what we like.
It's
what we like. If you don't like it, I don't care. You're not we don't need you to come sit with us. It's just like the same thing with what we like for sports. I love baseball. You know that I love baseball. I can sit down and watch baseball, but I know that would just take up everything. So I've personally made a decision that I'm not gonna let myself get pulled into baseball like I always did.
And I could watch more baseball.
I know, but I have to be careful because it becomes addictive for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? I know.
So, and then we've got football. Yeah, we enjoy football, but if we miss football on Sunday, not a big deal.
Right.
Right? Our thing is UFC. We love to sit down and watch the fights. We like to watch people beat each other up. Listen, they're getting paid to get beat up. We enjoy them getting beat up, so we enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's
everybody wins.
Everybody wins. You know, UFC is not for everybody. There are people. I told you I sat down to go get a haircut the other day, and the guy's like, "Hey, are you into fantasy football?" And the guy was like, "No, I don't know anything about football. I watch UFC." And then the barber was like, "This is the guy next to me."
Yeah.
The barber was like, "Oh yeah, how do you like the guy who did the punch with the thing in the arm?" What? Don't try and have a conversation if you don't know what you're talking about. You know.
My God.
But it was like it's like everyone has their thing. That barber, I bet you, if he said, "Oh yeah, I love fantasy football," he'd be like, "Did you see the stats on the guy with the thing?" I would be the guy with like. The guy who ran with the shoes and the football in the hand with the helmet, that guy, how many points did he get? I don't know fantasy football. I've never played fantasy football. I've never called my attention. But for some people, it's really huge.
Yeah.
Talk to me about UFC. I can talk to you about UFC.
You can have a conversation.
You know? But anyways, it's all based on your likes.
Absolutely. And
Netflix does it best because they look at your likes and what you do, and that's...
And the thing is that all of these other streaming services, I mean, I don't know, does Netflix have competition besides HBO?
Oh, yeah. All these guys.
Is Disney a competition?
Disney, the top three, Disney, HBO, Netflix.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is Netflix, HBO, and Disney have to continue to upgrade or update, their algorithm to match what Netflix is doing in order to stay competitive.
They haven't been able to.
I wonder if somebody owns like the rights to the algorithm.
I'm 100% sure.
And then that's another thing.
I'm 100%
that's going
sure.
on.
Listen, it's all a business. Who's making money on who, you know? And
the crazy thing is we will open our phone and Netflix is going to be right there waiting for us on Instagram to let us know about a new show that's coming up.
Yeah.
Because it's listening.
There's always something new. There's always something to call your attention. And listen, I'm there for it.
I'm there for it too.
I
just want to say one last thing before we close.
Give me the content that I want so that I can enjoy it.
I want to say one more thing before we close, but I really wish, and I know that nobody cares. That's the thing, right? As a fan, nobody cares. But a long time ago, I used to listen to Days of Our Lives on the radio because that was a thing. There were radio shows that were transmitting what was going on TV. And there's so much that happened in that time frame on this soap opera that I have found teeny tiny clips on YouTube of those little scenes, right? And what was going on during that time. But you want to watch the whole thing. And I'm thinking, you know that these studios have all of this stuff. Why not just make this available? Why not just open up?
Make what available? The soap operas?
Yeah.
40 years of 5 days a week.
Do you think that they have erased it?
Listen, there's nobody's going to sit and rewatch any of that crap.
No, but you could go back to, hey, let me watch 1999 and just pick it up from there. Like, why not?
Which was the one that they had the duplicate island?
That's it. That's the only one. And I got you in with me. We were watching.
I like the duplicate. That was a good one because
remember we'd watch it together?
Because they took everybody over to one island and then there
was a killer. And, oh, so good. So good. It has changed so much. It is not the same anymore. But to relive those old days, that was my last thing is that I wish that at some point, look, if I'm going to pay for it, why can't it be available to me?
I guess.
That's what I'm saying. But.
So Netflix, if you're listening.
We don't mind being, getting sponsored by you.
Yeah. We like TV. No. I like shows. Anyways, I guess that's it. We went an hour talking about this. No, we talked a little bit of other stuff at the beginning, but
yeah, high diving circus acts.
High diving horses and.
But it was all because of a movie.
It took us. Yeah.
One
all
thing.
Because of a movie.
Wow, crazy.
So,
which we're gonna go watch right now.
No. If you ever wonder if our show is scripted, this proves that it isn't. We had no idea where we were going when we started, and here we are at the end of this episode. And we had a great conversation.
And I could have kept going because
Yep.
there was so much more I wanted to say.
I know. My brain is going. I think we're probably going to keep talking on the couch. I don't know. Our show is going to be playing in the background, and we're just going to be yapping about stuff. Anyways, we are going to go eat some lasagna because that's what's cooking for dinner. Mm-hmm. And watch one of our many shows and enjoy the evening. But if you ever think that we're scripted, we're not. We come out here and just have a conversation sitting across from each other and just enjoy our time. And we are glad that you joined us. And if you have...
And you stick through.
If you have some friends that you think would enjoy our show, tell them to come listen to it. And I think that's it.
That's it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.